Hello everyone, this is Neha and welcome to the training session for bulk import. So let me just start sharing my screen. So we will be learning about the bulk operations today. So what will we learn today? We learn about the privileges, the users who can do bulk imports, how the validations work in OpenSpecimen, how to handle large bulk import files, and how to do auto bulk import, how to export and import administrative data, which is people work on the test environment to set up everything, and once that is finalized, all the items are moved from the test server to the live server. So that is export and import of administrative data. Then bulk import of biospecimen data, which will be the participants visit specimens. Then importing the custom form data, additional data at all levels. Resources. So we have wiki pages for all the bulk import files that we have. So if you just go to help.openspecimen.org and search for bulk operations, you'll be taken to this page where you'll get to see all the details about bulk import. So when to use bulk operations? So in our day-to-day lives, when we use the production server, we tend to use the user interface to enter data. So why to use bulk operations? So when I have to add, edit, or delete data in bulk, say I have thousands of patients for whom I have to add some data. I cannot sit and manually go to each participant, edit that, and then add data. It's easier to just create a file, add data in that file, and run it as a bulk import. Then if I have to blank out columns, some data was accidentally entered wrong, or some data was accidentally entered which did not have to be entered. So I have to blank out those columns. I can do this using a file. Then upload files. So there are surgical pathology reports that are created as and when the patient visits the clinic. I need to have these files in OpenSpecimen. Along with the surgical pathology reports, I even upload the consent documents. So when the patient visits the clinic, they have to sign the consent document, and I want the signed consent documents in OpenSpecimen. So I can upload both the consent files, the surgical pathology reports, or even some other files that we wish to store into OpenSpecimen can be uploaded using bulk operations. Just a second. Seems like my screen is stuck. Oh, okay. Okay. Then legacy data migration. Say we have been using in-house software, and now that we have started using OpenSpecimen, we want to put all the data that is there either in the in-house software or the Excel sheets that we have been using into OpenSpecimen. So to migrate all this data, it is helpful to use bulk operations. Then integrations with other instruments and databases. Say I have a temperature monitoring unit or say NanoDrop, which gives me output of some data, and I need to incorporate that into OpenSpecimen. So I can do this on a regular basis using the bulk import. Uploading of the QA/QC data, then bulk specimen transfer. So the specimens, we were doing some reinventory and we moved specimens from one freezer to another, did some grouping. So all this can be done just using one file. So who can use bulk operations? Any user who has import privilege can perform bulk operations. So the user, if he has bulk import privilege, then they'll be able to see the bulk import option when he or she logs into OpenSpecimen. So Bulk operations are also role based. See, a tissue banker has a role where he can access the participants and specimens. So when importing the data, the tissue banker will be able to import participants and specimens, whereas a technician is allowed to import only the specimens. So this is based on the role. So what are the file formats that are supported when I have to import data into OpenSpecimen? It is CSV or semicolon separated. So here's an example of how my data will look like. So I'm importing data, John, comma, Doe, then the date of birth, and he's male. So it's a comma separated file. What objects are supported via BIO? What all data I can import into OpenSpecimen? Almost all the objects are now supported for bulk operations. What is the bulk operation process? So what is that you have to do when you have to do a bulk import? First of all, download the template from OpenSpecimen. The first and foremost important thing. When you download the template, it will give you an empty file with just the headers where user can then enter data into the file and import it back. Second step is to enter data. You download the file, enter the data for all the details that you want to import. The third step is to upload the data into OpenSpecimen. If the file is successful, it will show you a proper message saying that all your records were successfully imported. If not, it will give you proper error messages saying this record had some issue. This record did not get uploaded because there was a problem with the gender, date of birth, or something else. Then the user can download this report, change the data, and again upload it. So this is the complete process that one has to follow when doing bulk import. So how to avoid errors? Use the correct template. Whenever you have to do some imports, it is the best option to do is download the latest template, so that if you have if added some extra additional fields, then the template gets updated based on that. Always save the file as CSV. So the extension of the file that you have should always be CSV. Use vocabulary defined in OpenSpecimen. So when I say vocabulary, I mean that for gender, in OpenSpecimen, I have male gender, female gender. So when I have to import data into OpenSpecimen, I have to make sure that what data I am adding into the file is similar to what is there in OpenSpecimen. Similar to other dropdowns like clinical diagnosis, clinical status, I need to check what's the value there and then use the same value in my file. Don't miss any mandatory fields. So there are some fields in OpenSpecimen in that template which are mandatory. Say for example, when you have to import participant data, the registration date, the collection protocol title, and the participant ID, these are mandatory fields. And all this information, you can find it over here. So let me just go to the participant CSV. I'll show you how. So new participant. In this table, you'll find which field is mandatory and which is not. So here, as I said, the registration date is a mandatory field. So the user needs to enter this information when creating the file. Okay, so now let's begin with our demo. The first demo that I'll show you is exporting and importing of administrative data. So here I will be using two servers. One is the demo site, which is demo.openspecimen.org, and the other one is the OS test server that we use for our local testing. So now I'll try to import very basic details. So that is the first step that comes to the mind while doing any setup is institutes. So I'll go to institutes and I'll find some institutes for my import. Okay, So I want to say import these 4 institutes from the demo site to the test server. So imagine in your case, this will mostly be from the test server to the production server. So from here, I'll click on export. So OpenSpecimen will now download a file, okay, and that file contains the data for the institutes, okay. So this is my file for all the institutes. So now what I'll do is I'll just import this into the test server. So let me just quickly log into the test server. And I'll go to institutes. Oops, I accidentally clicked on users. Okay, so every page has an import option. So here I'm seeing that there's an import button. I click on institutes. Then here, if you see, there's an option to select a file to download the template. When I said the first and foremost important thing, download the template. When you click on download template, OpenSpecimen downloads a blank file, okay, with the headers. So that's the identifier, name, and activity status, similar to what I did, what I have exported from here. Okay, so now I'll import the file that I downloaded. So that was the output.csv. The next option is import type. When I'm creating any object in OpenSpecimen, the import type will always be create. If I have to update an existing attribute, I need to use update. So since I'm going to create the institutes now, I'll leave it as create. Next is the date and time format. So in some cases, what happens is users use Excel, and in that they follow a different format other than what is there on the EUI. So say if I have used mm/dd/yyy, I need to use that particular format from the drop down. So just you can type in and search. Okay, you'll get to see all the available formats. You just have to select the correct one. Okay, then this is the format of the hour and minutes. So I'll leave it as HHMM. Then the field separator field. So this allows you to say that my file separator is a comma or a semicolon. So my file now has comma, and which is the default separator. So I'm not entering any value over here. Once I am done with all this, I'll click on validate and import. So why validate and import and not just import? Validate and import is something that allows OpenSpecimen to validate your complete file, which means it will check all the records present in your file and then import it into OpenSpecimen. If the file has 4 records and out of them 2 of them have failed, OpenSpecimen will not import any of the data into OpenSpecimen. It will reject the complete file. If the file, all 4 records do not have any problem, it will import the file and give success message. So let's say validate and import. So it said that my bulk import job 7056 is submitted, and in the latest enhancement, user is navigated to the bulk imports view past imports page, and here it says that 2 of my records were success and 2 of them were failed, and the status is failed. I can download the report from here. If I click on that download button, it downloads the file. Let's open the file and see what's the error. Okay, so it says institute with the same name already exists, which means that both these institutes are already present there. So let's just confirm that. Okay, I'll go back to institutes. I click on search. Okay, so the institute is there. Now if I just, now what I can do is, I can correct my file. Okay, so I'll delete these rows, and now I just want to import these two. I'll go back to OpenSpecimen, click on institutes, choose file. No, it's just here. Okay, and validate and import. Okay, So now 2 of my records are successful. The status is completed. I can go back to the institute list page and check the institutes that I've imported. Okay, so that's one. That's the second one. So this is how you can export data from one server and import it to the other one. This can be done for sites, users, and almost everything in OpenSpecimen. Okay, so that was for the demo 1. Demo 2 is upload participant data with custom fields specific to a CP. So let me show you the CP that I have, that I'll be using for the demo, and the form that is attached to the CP. Okay, so I'll be using the BioDemo CP today. Okay, and let me just go to the okay, so here I'll say my BioDemo CP. Okay, so this is the form that is attached at the participant registration level, which means that the fields should be displayed on the user overview, participant overview page. So I'll go back and show you where the fields are appearing. Okay, so these are the extra fields that are there in the form. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll go back to the CP. Under more, there is biospecimen data, and I'll download the template. So what will happen is this will download a blank file with just the header, and these are all the details that I need to fill up to import my participant data. So all these fields are not mandatory. So I filled a file for you. So let me just open that. Okay. So what we'll be doing is we'll be entering data into the BioDemo CP. PPID field, I have left it blank because I have let the system to generate this. So let me just show you the CP setup. Okay, so here I've said that OpenSpecimen will generate my PPID. So that's why I've left it blank over here. The second field is registration date, which is mandatory. And I filled some other fields, so on, date of birth, race, gender. And when I said vocabulary, so see the race field here, it should be one of the values that is present here. Okay, let me just go to the existing one. Okay, so race field should have white. So whatever data is present over here is one of the values that is present in the drop down. Okay, similar with the other fields. So I've added the MRN site. So this is the site, and that's the MRN in the next column. And this is the information for the OpenSpecimen custom fields, which is attached at the registration level. So now I'll just save this file and let's import. Go back to the CP, import biospecimen data. So now I'll choose the file. That's the cpr.csv, and I've left it as create. The date format here is month, date, and then year, which is year is 4-digit, other two are just 2 digits. So that's the exact format that I need. I'll leave it as create and click on validate and import. Okay, so job submitted. This is successful. 4 participants were imported. So let's just go back and see whether the participants are there. Yeah. So there were 3 participants before. I imported these 4 now, and if you go to any of them, you can verify whatever data you added in the file is present over here. So this is the first participant, that is DM004, the external subject ID. So all the data that is present over here is uploaded on the UI. Okay, so that's demo participant 1, whose uh, birth year is 1991, and all the other details. Okay, so that is for the participant. Okay, so the next we'll take up is the master template. So master template is nothing but the combination of all three levels. So all three levels, I mean participant, visit, and specimens. So I have data for all three objects and I want to import them in one go. I don't want to have three different templates to import my data. So what I'll do is I'll go to the open specimen. Okay, and in the drop down you just need to type master specimens. Okay, and it will give you this. So let me just open the master template file for you. Okay, so here it starts with the registration of the participant, similar to what I did in the CPR file. Till here it's all the participant data. After that we start with the visit level fields. Okay, so the visit, so this is the event label. So let me just take you to the CP setup. So by event label, I mean these. So when I click on this, yeah. So this is my event label, okay, which is added in the file over here. Visit name, I have again left it blank because I want the system to auto generate. I've given a label format over here. Okay, then the visit date, the visit site, clinical diagnosis, surgical pathology number. So the visit fields end over here. After that, what I plan to do is I even want to import a few parent samples. So I'm importing them based on the specimen requirement code. I haven't given any label. I want to map it to the requirement. So if I go back here, I'll show you the requirement code. So this is my red top whole blood, EDTA whole blood, and this is my serum separator whole blood. Okay, whole blood collected in the serum separator tube. I've given other details over here: fluid, whole blood, lineage new, okay, and the other properties. Okay, so let's just save this file and go ahead and import. So again, more biospecimen data, master specimen, choose file, master specimen. And I'm not changing the date format because in my file I've retained the same date format, that is month, date, and then the year. I'll click on validate and import. Okay, so here if you see there are two options now. One is download and one is this cross mark, which means that if I have to abort this job, I can click on this button and then it will not run my file. Or whatever records are processed, it will show that these were processed and these were yet to be processed, and the status will then get updated to abort. I won't do anything because I want to import the data now. Okay, so there were two records which are successful now. Now let's go back to the, okay, so that's the participant 8. Okay, the visit got created and the parent whole blood is also created. So all this happened in one file, which was the master template, participant, visit, and the samples in that. Okay. And similar for the second one. Okay, so here I have collected the serum tube. Okay, so that's for the global master template. Now custom form data. Let me open a file that, okay, so I have that. So I have this form, chemotherapy, attached at the visit level, and I want to import data for this. So if you go to open specimen and view any visit, okay, here is the forms tab, and this is the chemo Rx annotation, and this is the form for which I want to import data. So now what I'll do is I'll just copy paste these visit names. And one for the 9th patient. Okay. And the other fields, I have already added data over here, and I'll save the file. So when uploading data for the custom fields, each file will have a field for ID. Okay, so when you are creating data, this ID field is not mandatory. But when you want to update the data, each form record gets a unique ID. So I'll show you the ID when I do that. So let's just fire specimen data and my chemo form. Okay. And okay, and the data was uploaded successfully. Let's go to the visit and check whether the data was uploaded. Okay, so here is the data that was uploaded. So now if you see, here is the record ID for this form. If I have to update any data in this form, I'll just have to take this ID, paste it here, and then I'll have to update the data. So it will update the same record based on that ID. Okay, so this you can do for any custom form attached at any level, whether the participant, visit, or specimen. Okay, so now I want to upload data for the specimen events. So open specimen is shipped with some default specimen events, and I want to import data for that. So I have a frozen event form ready. So as soon as I collected the whole blood samples, the samples were frozen for some time. And I want to record this information in open specimen to record the life cycle. So let me just go back and check the samples. Okay, so I have whole blood collected for the 8th and 9th patient. So let me just update that. Okay, and save. So the required information is present over here. I will go ahead and import. From here, you have to select the frozen event, choose the file, the frozen event, and validate and import. Okay, so let's use the global search this time and make it quick to navigate to that specimen. So that's the specimen, and I have successfully created a frozen event. You can either click here to go to the event. So that's the data. Okay, so that's cryobath. That's the user who did the freezing. That's the date. Okay, so that's the specimen events. So like this, there are multiple specimen events for which you can import data in bulk. Okay, so these are the default events. You can just go to the bulk specimen data, and you can find the templates below. So these are all the event templates. Okay. Then now I have added some data, and now I want to edit that data. Some user accidentally entered wrong data. I want to correct that, and there was some information that was entered, and I need to remove that as well. So let's just open that file. Okay, so I have some old samples for which the data was entered. The anatomic site for whole blood, so there's no anatomic site for whole blood. Some user entered that, and I now want to blank it. And the anatomic site for this sample was accidentally entered as something different. I want to change it to breast. So let me just go to that specimen, show you what is the anatomic site. Okay, the anatomic site was not entered, and I want to change it to breast. So I just downloaded this template, added the required information. So that's the specimen label and the anatomic site. I don't want to change anything else. So if you see, all the other fields are blank. When I have to remove any specific value, I have to particularly use the syntax hash hash set to blank with an underscore in between, so that the data from that particular field is removed. Okay, so let me just quickly show you what information is there for the blood sample. Oh, and okay. So here the anatomic site is lung, which I have to change to not specified. And the second specimen does not exist. So let me just get rid of that. I'll save the file. You can leave the other columns as it is in the file, or if you want to get rid of those, you can just select those and delete those columns. If you retain, open specimen will ignore them. If you delete, that is also well and good. So let me go back and import. So I am trying to update my specimens. So this time I'll select the file, and so that's the update specimen. And this time I'll select the import type as update, because I'm not creating anything but updating the existing data. So I've selected update, and I'll click on validate and import. Okay, and that's successful. Now let's see whether my specimens were updated. Okay, so not specified is now changed to breast NOS, and if you see, last update was run by me. So that's my name there. And let's go to the other sample. For some reason, this did not update. Okay, I should have set it to not specified. Okay, let's move to the next one. Delete data in bulk. So I have created some wizards, and now for testing purpose, and I want to get rid of those. So all I need to do is download the visit template, add the visit name, and set the activity status. So activity status is a field that you'll find in almost all the templates. So this is the visit that I want to delete. So some user accidentally clicked into the surgery visit, and I don't want that visit in open specimen. Okay, so that's the visit, the post-surgery visit, and there are some samples collected as well. So when I say I have to delete this visit, it will delete the dependent data as well. So this is my file, and in this there is an activity status column which says disabled. Okay, so I'll just save this file. Biospecimen data, select the appropriate template. So this is updating visits, so I'll select visit and the delete visit and update again because we are updating something, and validate and import. So now if I try to search for that particular visit, it won't give me any results. Okay, it says go to the manual. Okay, so that's for deleting data. So this can be done for all the objects, the participants, visits, specimens, and if in case you delete the participants that have visits and specimens both collected, open specimen will force delete both of them, which is the visits and specimens collected for that particular patient. So now coming to an interesting part, which is uploading the surgical pathology reports and consent files. So every patient has a consent tab where you can upload the consent document. Okay, so just give me a second. Let me just check the setup once. Okay. So what is the process that one has to follow when importing the data for the consents? So I have, first thing is to download the consent template. So this is the consents template. I'll download it here. Okay. So here it will give you the CP short title, PPID, consent date, consent statement, comments, and here we have the signed consent form column. This will play an important role when we have to upload the consent file. I have a file ready for you, so let me just open that. Okay, so this is my consent CSV. Okay, excuse me, so that's the PPID, the consent date, and these are some documents that I have created that needs to be uploaded as consent documents. So there is a folder along with the file, so which is named as files. Particularly the syntax needs to be followed, it is files. If I check this folder, I have some 5 files over here, which are names for which are added over here. So name of this exact document, okay, is present over here, okay, which is the first one. So now I'll show you how to create a zip file for the upload. So if you have to upload the visit SPR documents or any of the custom file uploads, the same steps are to be followed. The template needs to be put here. Then a folder needs to be created where all the files are present, and you need to select both of them and compress so that it creates one folder, one zip file. So this zip file can be imported into Open Specimen, and all the files that are present will be uploaded. So I have a file already ready. So let's just go here and select my zip file and click on validate and import. Okay, so 5 records are successfully imported, and so let me just check the patient ID. Okay, it's from 1 to 5. Let's just open the 5th one, go to the consent tab. Just give me 1 minute there. There seems to be some setup issue, but that's the exact exact set of steps that need to be followed to upload the consent documents. It should be shown over here. Seems like there's something else done. Okay, so that was for the consent documents. Okay, now that we have imported our participants and visits into Open Specimen, I will now have to import my specimen data. Okay, so there are 3 different templates that can be used to import the specimen data: the main specimen template, a derivative template, and aliquot template. So all 3 templates have different set of fields for importing data. So let me just open the specimen template. So here I have fields related to the parent specimen. So by parent specimen, I mean the specimens that are collected from the patient, which have the collection and received event added. So if you see at the end, you'll find the collection and received event data, which is this. Okay. And again, I will be importing this based on the specimen requirement code. I will not add any label. Okay, so let's just import this file. Okay, and I had imported the data in the pre-surgical visit for the 8th patient. Okay, so that's the sample that is collected. So that was the serum sample, the SWB. This is the sample that is collected now. Okay, so all the details that I've added here, the anatomic site, the biohazard. Okay, so all these details are present over here. So the biohazard and the anatomic site. Now I'll use the derivative template to add further data. Okay, so the derivative template is different from the first specimen template. So this has limited number of fields. The fields that are visible only for the derivative sample, even on the user interface. Okay, so these are the fields. If you see, there are no collection and event received event details. So this will just have a created on date, which is important. So that's the date when the samples were created. And these are the specimens that I'll be creating now. I've added the parent sample label, which is important since since open specimen needs to know under which specimen you'll be creating the samples. Okay, so let's just import this file, and we have a different template for each of them. For specimens, we have a specimen template. For specimen derivatives, the name is specimen derivative. So I'll choose file, specimen derivative, 4 samples created. So let's just search for these samples. Okay, so this is the sample that was created on 15th May under the parent whole blood. So that's the first whole blood. Okay, similarly, there will be a serum sample that would be under a different parent. Okay, so the second whole blood sample is processed to serum. Okay, so that's for the derivative. So derivative template is different than the primary specimen one. So now let's check the aliquot template. And if you had noticed, I have given the specimen labels over here. Since I didn't want my derivatives to, since I didn't want open specimen to generate labels for these specimens, I had added labels over here. Now in the aliquot template, I am not providing any labels. I want the system to auto-generate, and I'm specifically doing this because I want to create n number of aliquots, and that too without providing any labels. So that's why I'll just use the aliquot template, and I'll mention how many aliquots I have to create. So this is similar to the UI. You need to specify the number of aliquots, quantity per aliquot. Okay, and I plan to store these samples in a container. So this is the container, the box in which my samples need to be stored, and it should start from column row A, column 1. So let me just show you the container on the user interface. Okay, so that's the container. So this is my container, that's A1. I need to start it from A1. Okay, And similar for B3, I can mention that I need to start that from some other position so that you get to know how to do that. So let me just put this as B. So the first available position needs to be taken as B1. Okay. So this is all the information that is needed. I'll just save the file, go back to the user interface, biospecimen data, and make sure that you select aliquots. Choose file, specimen aliquot, validate and import. Okay, so it's still in process. Okay, so that's created. Let's go to the. So the reason I am just importing 2 or 3 records is because I don't want to be lagging. So that's just, let's create it quickly. So I said I want to create 4 aliquots, which is 4 over here, and 1 is the quantity. If I go to this aliquot, so that's 1 ml and stored at position A1. So it started from A1, it created 4 aliquots. So that's why it has taken consecutive positions up till A4. Now let's see what's happened with the serum sample. Okay, so it was 4 aliquots there as well. So I'd mentioned that I want to start the aliquot position from the second row. So if you go to the container, it has skipped the first one. I gave it to start from the second one. So it has taken 4 positions in that one. So which is here. Okay, so that's for importing the specimens, the derivative, and the aliquots. Okay, now how to do auto bulk import? So auto bulk import is where you put files in a folder with particular format that we have to create. What's the date format, at what time or date do you want that file to be picked up. You just name that in a particular format. And so let me just take you to that page. Okay, so it's object type, operation, timestamp. So this particular format you have to follow when you have to name the file. So this is creating, and that's the date and time. So this is for distribution order, and the import type is create. Okay, so you put all these files in a folder, and then at that particular time open specimen will pick up that file, it will import, and it will move those files to a success folder. If there are some errors in that file, the file will be moved to a different folder. So when the user comes back and checks the process, the user will get to know whether the file was imported or it failed due to some error. So all the details for auto bulk import you will find on this page. So which is under the bulk operations. Okay. So now tips to handle large bulk imports. I have a file which has more than 10,000 records. So that's a very large import. How will I do this? I will break up the file into smaller parts so that the upload is much quicker. Then I'll perform the operation during off-peak hours. I don't want the system to slow down or something else to happen when everybody else is using the system. I'll do this during the off hours, which means after 6, so before leaving the office, I'll just import that file and then leave. Next day I can come back and check whether it was successful or not. Open Specimen even sends out email saying that the import that you performed was successful or failed, and here is the report for the same. So you don't have to worry when you are doing bulk imports. Use auto bulk upload instead of via browser. So why wait in the office by 6 p.m. and say I'll import the file and then go? Just put it in the auto bulk import folder. Open Specimen will do the job of picking up the file and importing that. Okay, so that was for the tips and tricks for bulk import, and that was the session that I had to take. So I'll just take the questions now. I have some questions on the chat window. Where are they defined? Okay, seems that the question is already answered. So I leave the panel open for any questions. Feel free to put your questions on chat.